I knew it was you. There's nothing particularly interesting about how I wrote this one, um, but there is a great story about how it's kind of come to be and preserved. Because I wrote this back in like 2004, I think. 04, maybe 05. So it's been around for a while. And the most significant thing about it was I had never I had done some professional recording projects before where I actually went to a studio, but I never had a complete band. The first album I made didn't have a guitar player, for example. I just didn't have the budget for it. So everything was all keyboard based and any whatever I could do on my own. And I finally had amassed some recording equipment. In fact, this digital audio workstation that I have just to my left is something that I acquired in 2004. And it was not just because I'd finally saved up enough money. The equipment that was available to put in your home was finally really starting to get good and compact and affordable all at the same time. And so I really wanted something. I was starting to write some songs I was proud of, and I wanted to make a demo that I thought was really good. Now, I had no idea how to record anything, so I was a lousy sound engineer. Um, but I knew a great guitar player. His name is Greg Sales. He lives in Kearney, Nebraska, and he's every bit as good as any guy that you've ever heard on any record or seen on any big stage in an arena anywhere in the world. And I've played with some guys who've done that kind of work, and I'm telling you, Greg's work stacks right up with it. He is that good. And he and I became friends. He actually gave me some guitar lessons. Everything I know about playing, I learned from Greg. And I asked him if he'd come put some parts down for me. And I had no idea what I was going to do with this song yet, but I had a few things down. And so he comes over to my house, and we're in my basement. There's a spare room in my basement that I've turned into my studio. And he actually works at the music and pro audio store that I bought this thing from, and he sold it to me. So he got a commission off of this. And I said, I have no idea what to do here. He goes, well, I don't know how to use it either. And so we fidgeted around for a little bit and finally decided the best thing to do would just be to have him play through his guitar amp and then put a microphone in front of it because he knew how to get the sounds he wanted out of his amp. So we did that, and we worked on it for about 2 hours and came up with some. He came up. I shouldn't say I did. He came up with some really cool stuff. And we get everything recorded, and I'm like an idiot. I haven't learned how to save everything yet. And he's starting to pack up to go home for the night. And I trip and accidentally step on the power, what do they call it? The power strip that I had this plugged into, and hit the power switch. And it shuts this thing off, and everything that he's done that night is lost. Everything. Not a shred of it got saved. I had that sinking feeling in my gut, like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. And I go, Greg, I can't believe I just did that. Oh, and he goes, well, the ideas are still fresh. Just a second. Now, this is the very early days of when everyone started carrying a cell phone. So he pulls out his cell phone, flips it up, which was a very, very like cutting edge model at the time, and he calls his wife and says, you know, honey, we had a little problem. You mind if can I come home a little later than I thought and help? Okay. And thank you, Sheila. She allowed him the flexibility to stay a little later. So we turn everything back on, and in one take, we had 3 different guitar parts, and in one take, nailed them. So They were fantastic. Now the only problem is that I didn't bring them in very clean, and it had nothing to do with him. It had everything to do with me and my complete and total ignorance on how to record something. But it was the best demo I'd ever made at the time, and I just loved his parts. And I never got rid of them. I saved them, and I've kept them on like backup CDs. And anyway, I was like, I want to do something with this song for this project, and I want to use Greg's guitar parts because they're so good. And so thank God I kept all the original stuff that I did on it. And what I did was I took that original track that I had done on my sequencer, and I built a click track, just like a metronome from beginning to end. And then I erased everything. Well, I didn't erase it, but I started a new file with just that click track, and I built a new everything from the ground up. Redid the bass, the drums, the piano, the synth pad, the vocals, and then took his parts and just imported them right over the top. And then I took them to Bob Thacker, my sound engineer, and said, these sound like hell, but the performance is fantastic. Can you do something with them? And he got to work on tweaking the EQ and the dynamics and the effects and brought them to life. And so here we are. We're able to use Greg's original awesome performances from the session that we did that night in 2004 and put them with all of my new work on the song today, and it just sounds phenomenal. So I'm thrilled by that. I'm just thrilled by that, and I hope I'll be able to use Greg some more in the future, because he is just a super guitar player. First time that I met you, I could feel it in the air. Something very special and incredible was there, and I never had a doubt. What brought it all about, I knew it was you. My world shifted orbits as it found a brand new sun. I never knew that I could feel so close to anyone. There was never any fear. It was all completely clear. I knew it was you. I knew it was you. The first time that we touched, I knew it was you. I've never felt so much deep in my heart. Right from the start, I knew it was you. All of a sudden, colors were more vivid and more clear. The good days all got better and the bad days disappeared. There was new light in my eyes. I knew exactly why. I knew it was you. Yeah. I knew it was you. The first time that we touched, I knew it was you. I've never felt so much deep in my heart. Right from the start, I knew it was you. Now I just can't believe how long it's been. Whoever dreamed we'd say remember when. So much is different, but one thing every single day. I know that it's you. You still take my breath away, deep from my heart. Till death do us part. I know that it's you. Yeah. I know that it's you. Know that it's you. Yeah. Know that it's you. Know that it's